Welcome to Inside Rangers Football. I'm your host, Brant Freeman, with Smithson Valley head coach Larry Hill. The Rangers coming off their first loss of the season this past Friday, 16-10 to Clemens at Ranger Stadium. Coach, a hard-fought game from both teams, but a tough one for you to come up short in. What was your takeaway from the game this past Friday?
Well, they got off to a good start, or we got off to a poor start, however you want to spin it. We didn't play particularly well on either side of the ball the first few series, of course, against a very good team. They can make you look bad. Dug ourselves a 13-0 hole. I thought really showed some great resolve coming back, getting ourselves back in a position to win the game, and then right there in the fourth quarter when we need to make a few plays to go ahead and win it, we couldn't. And but they're 7-0. They're an undefeated team. It was that kind of a game for a reason, but had the feel of a late in the year playoff game atmosphere, and obviously we needed to win, wanted to win, but didn't. But hopefully it makes us better because we're in that kind of environment.
You mentioned the 13-0 deficit that you fell into kind of early in the game. As a result, Clemens was playing ball control, and they had possession on offense really throughout the entire game. Given those two things that happened, how tough was it for you to get into a rhythm offensively?
Well, it played to their strengths by falling behind. If we were the ones up 2 touchdowns early, certainly the game wouldn't have been over, but that doesn't play to their strengths. We would have been in control, forcing them to do some things they really don't want to do. But they were going to be very ball control, ground oriented. You get up 2 scores, that helps you. Limits our possessions, puts a little pressure on us. The big D tackles played very, very well for them. I thought their corners played well, and we were a little erratic. We had some good drives, some big plays, and then we had some plays, some series where we just didn't do much.
Your defense, though, definitely kept you in the game throughout all 48 minutes. You look back at their play, held Clemens to only 153 yards, only 8 first downs the entire game. You forced 3 turnovers, 2 courtesy of Mason Pierce, who we'll see more from later. Looking to play the defense, what impressed you?
Well, just keeping us in it until our offense could smooth the waters a little bit. I think that was part of it. And really limiting their big plays. There was a noticeable absence of big plays offensively, really for both teams. They had 4 explosive plays. We had 3. Both of us far under what we used to in the first 6 games. So that's a tribute to both defenses. And offensively, we need some big chunk things, big chunk plays. It's very hard against a defense like that to drive 8, 10, 12 play drive over and over and over. We did it a time or two. That's how we got our points. But we needed a couple of more explosives, just didn't get them.
You've told us over the years that your program never gets too caught up in wins, never too down on losses. This was your first loss of the season. Looking at the couple of days since that football game, how has your team responded?
Like we hoped they would, and like we thought they would. They came in Saturday morning disappointed, but resolved. To what do we need to do different? Let's look at it on tape. What lessons are learned? Get hard in the weight room. Let's get hard on our conditioning, and who's next, coach? And we move on.
Well, who's next? That's the Canyon Cougars, who Smithson Valley will play this upcoming Friday. We'll preview that game coming up, but right now we'll look back at some of the big plays against Clemens from this past Friday.
Let's take a look. Our first big play is a big play on defense. It's the last play of the first half. Clemens has the football, as you can see from the rear, and they're going to throw a deep Hail Mary shot down the field. As they throw it, one of our senior cornerbacks, Mason Pierce, 19, you can see he's in great position, elevates, takes the ball away, spins away from the defender, and then starts back up the field and almost scores from 99 yards out. You can see he's got about 5 escort blockers there. As the play comes up, the last guy right there gets him, or we may very well go. Big play by Mason to end the first half. Coming out of the half, we can see we're kicking on the other side of the 50, so we do a bloop kickoff that's perfectly placed by our kicker, Mason Reed, over into the corner, and we're slanting about 8, 9 guys over to where the kick is, hemming him up, really has nowhere to go. You can see we got a lot of blue shirts there. We get him running sideways. Jacob Johnson finally pushes, get a little shove on him, runs him out of bounds on the 10 or 11 yard line. Get a real good look at it as the kick unit comes down. You can see the ball very well placed right there, dropping kind of out of the sky. You can see all the angles that we have. Just a real good job by our whole kickoff unit. Forces him, he can't run where he wants to. Right there we've got kind of a wall. And he goes back the other way, and then Jacob's in perfect position when he pops out to get him out of bounds. That leads to points after our defensive stop. Our last big play is an offensive play. Ricky Rios, circled here at the bottom of the screen, will be the feature receiver on this. We have 3 receivers to the wide side of the field. One of those is Trayvon Merrick and Dorsal Hunter. And Nick Kuykendall. It gets a lot of attention over there, and Levi is seeing the defense shift that way, so he takes the backside throw here, a big 4th down conversion. There's a nice window in there. He sticks it in the window. Ricky makes a nice catch in traffic, moves the chains on 4th down. It leads to points for us. From the rear, you can see what our quarterback sees. Levi's seeing the safety cheat over to the 3 receiver side, looks him off, and then throws it back in the window back over there. Ricky, as I said, made a nice play in traffic. And those are our plays of the week.
Coach, highlighting one of those plays, the last one, the catch by Ricky Rios. Again, you had a tough night offensively, but one of the players that really stood out was Ricky. Had 4 catches for you for over 60 yards, and some of the grabs he made were just unreal. Again, for a player who a year ago was only playing for you defensively, how pleasant of a surprise has he been playing at wide receiver?
Well, I don't know if surprise is the right word, because we thought he was a very talented football player who had a chance to flourish in that role. Difficult for us to take him off of defense, but we had a little more depth over there than maybe we did at receiver. And as the year's gone on, we've actually begun to flip him back to some defense as well as playing every snap of offense. So he's been a big part of our success. He's made some big catches, as we know, in crucial situations, including the other night, several 4th down grabs.
Yep. Again, Smithson Valley coming off a loss against Clemens this past Friday, but forging ahead, they'll take on the Canyon Cougars this upcoming Friday, and we'll preview that game coming up in just a bit. After the break, though, it'll be time for this week's Senior Moments and Little Men. Back with more Inside Rangers football in just a moment.
Summerhill Dental is your partner in getting a better night's sleep tonight. Our appliances are a proven solution to stop snoring and sleep apnea. No CPAP, no surgery, not so scary.
So this is it, huh?
Yep, this is where it all starts and finishes.
Joe Pavelic, Jeff Shin, Alan Hill, Pat Bailey, Matt Hilson, Clint Haney, Cody Fuller, Eric Anders, Garrett Smith, Andrew Sendejo, Josh Adkins could have dressed in the soccer.
We got work to do, kid.
We're gonna go inside, we're gonna go outside, we're gonna get him on the run, we're gonna keep him on the run, then we're gonna go, 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 go. We won't stop until we're across that goal line. This is a team they say is good. Well, I think we're better than them. So what do you say, man?
Let me give it a try. Making videos is not easy. It's confusing and it's hard work. Well, I'm here to tell you, when your back's against the wall, call Wick Productions. It's who we use for game night scoreboard production and the Rangers Network.
Amazing, Coach. Another perfectly executed shameless plug.
And welcome back to the studios of Inside Rangers Football. Again, Smithson Valley will take on the Canyon Cougars coming up this Friday. We'll preview that game later in the show, but right now, time for this week's Senior Moments with our very own Emily Wick. Emily?
Thanks, Coach. Thanks, Brant. Boys, pull your phones out of your pocket. Text your mama. Tell her hi. You love her. So I'm here today with Juan, Josh, and Austin. Josh, what is it, if anything, about adults that you just don't understand?
Well, I mean, sometimes whenever I want to leave the house, my parents are always asking me where I'm going, and honestly, I'm probably just gonna go get something to eat. But I mean, they're very protective, and that, I mean, I understand that, but there's 2 other people in the house that are the same age as me. So they could just ask them instead of asking me.
So I heard you're a triplet.
Yes, that is correct.
It's like instant replay all day in here.
Yes.
I saw your brothers earlier. What's it like being a triplet?
It's different. I mean, we all share the same clothes. We share the same vehicle. We're always going to the same places. The only thing that is not the same is that we're all going to different colleges.
Oh, what do you think that's going to be like? Think that's going to be rough on you guys?
Maybe the first week, just because we're always used to being in the same room together. So it's going to be really weird the first week.
Yeah, y'all share a room?
Yes.
Oh, wow. So do y'all get along most of the time?
I mean, some of the times, yes, but then there's other times where we'll fight to drive the truck, or we'll fight to see who gets to hang out with somebody. There's some times where we have our fights now and then.
Yeah, but overall, I bet that's pretty fun, huh?
It's very fun, yes.
Yeah, very cool. So Austin, what is the best invention ever?
Invention?
Invention. What is the best thing ever invented?
For iPhone.
The iPhone.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, pretty good, huh? More so than lights?
I mean,
Oh, it's up there.
A phone has lights.
This is true.
I mean, lights makes us see, so, I mean, imagine just walking in the dark all day, Austin.
You have your phone, you pull out flashlights.
That can be debated.
The iPhone does have a flashlight.
It
That's
does.
true.
So you just walk around
But,
with a
hey, but
flashlight.
what if it dies and you don't have a charger?
Oh, we need electricity to actually run the iPhone, I guess.
Yeah.
That's true. We want to get all technical about it. So Juan, if you could only have one meal for the rest of your life, what would that be?
I guess it's spaghetti.
Spaghetti?
Yeah.
Does your mom make a really good spaghetti?
Yeah, she makes really delicious spaghetti.
Yeah? And how often do you request that?
Maybe like once every 2 weeks.
Yeah?
So, yeah.
No, that's good. Juan,
Yes.
what is the biggest thing on your bucket list?
Bucket list. Learn how to play a guitar, I guess.
Oh yeah? What kind of music would you want to play?
Different types of music.
Nothing in particular?
No?
If you could pick one song that you would know how to play right now, what song would that be?
I'm not really sure.
No? Josh, what would you want him to play?
It depends on the instrument, guitar. I mean,
Is it a classical? Is it electric?
Electric. Probably maybe some George Strait songs if you can. That'd be kind of cool.
Do you know a George Strait song? No? Josh?
Carried Away.
Let me hear it.
I can't see.
Ooh, come on. You can do it.
Oh man, got called out.
I got called out. Of course you did.
Oh man. I get carried away by the look, by the light in your eyes.
That's good. Very good.
Oh man.
Austin, what's the best thing about being a Ranger?
Hang out with your friends, get to experience something that's really great that we have a chance to do, and you play football, a sport you love. Or
Yeah?
a sport that I love.
You like playing with these two guys down here?
Yeah, I've been with him since 6th grade and one since freshman year.
Very good. Y'all been together a while. What position do you play, Austin?
I'm a safety.
Okay. Y'all feel safe with him around?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty safe?
He's a good guy.
Yeah, very good. All right, so Juan, Josh, and Austin, thanks for being here with me today. Coach, Brant, back to you.
Go Rangers!
Thanks, Emily. As always, a lot of fun with Smithson Valley seniors. Also, a lot of fun of the show is Little Men, and here's this week's segment with Coach Hill.
In today's offensive football, the passing game gets a lot of notoriety. Most of that notoriety is usually based on the quarterback and the receivers making big plays. They're the ones that get interviewed. They're the ones that get publicized the most. But as most knowledgeable fans know, pass protection, giving the quarterback time to make those throws, is of the utmost importance. Many of our passes are what we call drop back passes. Our quarterback takes a snap and drops straight back and is throwing from the middle of the formation behind his offensive line. So about drop back pass protection today, we've got Coach Jared Hickle, one of our offensive line coaches, and he's going to use the Little Men segment today to illustrate some examples of drop back pass protection. So Coach Hickle, take us from here.
So when needed, it's time to protect a quarterback on a drop back pass. So what we do is we have a man side and we have a slide side. What it is the play side guard. He'll get the first from a zero nose over. The play side tackle, he's on the man side, he'll get the second from the zero nose over. So in this set right here, you'll have number 1 and number 2. From the center to the back side, this is the slide side, and they're basically going to slide over to pick up anything in their gap. So even if he goes here, your play side guard will pick him up. This end right here goes up the field, your tackle will pick him up. Now, you ask, if they blitz somebody from the backfield, like a linebacker, an outside linebacker, we'll leave that on the play side for the back, whether it's the fullback or the halfback. And our goal is to set up a nice pocket here so that the quarterback has plenty of time to hit somebody running down the field.
Drop back pass protection and drop back passes. Let's go to some game clips and watch it in action.
Okay, so here we are last year against Clemens. If you see, we have a man side and the slide side. Our idea here is to give the quarterback plenty of time and create a nice little pocket there so that he can get the ball downfield to our receiver. Nice play by the receiver catching that ball a little underthrown. Here it is from the backside. So if you look on the left, our left guard's going to get number 1 from the center over. Our left tackle is going to get number 2. In this situation, what you're going to see is you're going to see the nose and the tackle from that on the defensive side twist. Here on the right, you have the slide side, so your center, right guard, and right tackle are going to slide over and pick up everything in their gap. The defensive tackle and defensive end are also going to twist. On the play side, if you look here, you have the back, and we have written there that he picks up the blitz. If your middle linebacker or outside linebacker blitz off the edge on that side, he's going to pick them up. Here we go. Slide side, they picked up the twist very well on the play side. You see how number 1 turned into number 2 and number 2 turned into number 1, and our left guard and left tackle picked it up nicely, giving our quarterback plenty of time. If you see on the right side here, our center picked up the right tackle, right defensive tackle, well, and our right tackle ended up picking up the right end. Beautifully thrown ball, good play, give us a chance to score. Here we are in a playoff game against Lake Travis. Same thing, we have the man side to the left, slide side to the right, and we're trying to create a nice pocket for the quarterback to release the ball on time. Here we hit a flag in the corner and it gave us a chance to score there in a big playoff game. Here it is from the back side. You have the back. He's picking up the blitz on the left side. Your left guard and left tackle are picking up number 1 and 2 consecutively. In this situation, the nose guard moves to the right, so our guard picks him up, and the left tackle picks up the defensive end. Great pocket for Josh to throw in, releases the ball on time. Receiver makes a nice catch and gives us a chance to score there in the playoff game.
Drop back pass protection. So vital in any good drop back passing game. Thanks, Coach Hickle, for showing us that. And now let's go to Ranger Trivia.
This week in Rangers Trivia, cornerback Mason Pierce had 2 interceptions on Friday, giving him 3 this season and 8 for his career. Pierce is now tied for the most interceptions in a career as a Ranger with how many other players? Is the answer A, 1, B, 2, or C, 3? The answer is B, 2. The other 2 Rangers with 8 career interceptions are Pierce's teammate Trevon Merrick-Woodard, who had a team-high record 7 picks in 2015, and Aaron Potter, who had 3 interceptions in 2010 and 5 more in 2011. So yes, quite a dynamic duo in Smithson Valley secondary right now between Trevon Merrick-Woodard and Mason Pierce, a combined 16 career interceptions, and again, a player that, from a few years back, Aaron Potter, 8 in his career.
Yeah, Aaron was a good one, and of course these 2 guys are good ones. And of course Mason and Trayvon give us some pop on the special teams, and of course on offense, running the ball, catching the ball as well. So we're getting a lot of mileage out of those guys.
Well, hopefully they'll have a good game coming up Friday against Canyon. A game we'll preview coming up next as Inside Rangers Football continues in just a moment.
We just got the GVTC Connect home with Sky Bell.
Wow, you can see who's at your front door. Who is that?
Hello, Mr. Mueller. It's Marty from GVTC.
That's Mason Pierce, senior wide receiver and defensive back for the Rangers.
No, just Marty. Making sure everything's working. Video, doorbell, remote arming and disarming of your alarm, and you're getting text messages when windows or doors are opened.
Marty. Watch this. R-A-N-G-E-R-S. Rangers, Rangers.
The best. I mean, the best security on the planet.
Welcome back to Inside Rangers Football. Coming up this Friday, the Comal Bowl. Smithson Valley taking on fellow Comal ISD school, the Canyon Cougars. The Rangers are 6-1. The Cougars are 1-6, coming off a tough loss against Steele this past Friday. Coach, not many secrets over there the other side from Canyon, their head coach. You know him pretty well. Yeah, we started working together in 1989, which, you know, for a lot of people, that certainly anybody that plays for us was even born. Yeah, they're familiar with us. We're familiar with them. We have a lot of respect for what they do. On the record, I was born by then, by the way. I was 8 years old at the time. We're talking about Coach Muchagema, of course, and I mentioned the records. Obviously, it's been a tough go of it this season for Canyon. Some of it has been a really loaded schedule. Look at the opponents that the Canyon Cougars have played. As you look at this football team and who you're getting ready for on Friday, what impresses you? Well, I think just, you know, their plan, their tenacity in executing the plan, and you know, they're doing some really, really good things, as a lot of people in our district are. But the problem they run into, the one we run into, everybody runs into, is 27-6A, big boy football. And you know, sometimes you play your best, and that doesn't guarantee a win. I think we all live under the gun like that, and it's going to be a real challenge for us. Their strengths match up against some of the things we don't do so well, very well, and interesting matchup. The Cougars offensively, like most teams, they want to be able to establish their run first and foremost. And you look at their run game. Seth Haney has been a workhorse at running back. The quarterback, Xavier Perez, can be classified as a dual threat. Looking at the Cougars on that side of the football, what challenges do they present? Well, you know, downhill run, much like we struggled with the last week or two. You know, the downhill run with the kid you mentioned, and the quarterback on some of the keepers, just where he's going to, when he pulls it, where he's going to end up. He's been real good at creating plays, even outside of the plays. And a lot of times pass options are built in on that, and he may just spray it out there. So being disciplined, being where you're supposed to be, will be real important for us defensively. Defensively for Canyon, seems to be a lot of feast or famine this year for the Cougars. They'll get some stops and turnovers, but then they give up the big play. That's been suspect for the Cougars all year long. You're looking for more of the big play last week. You didn't get it against Clemens. How do you execute that against Canyon this Friday? Well, you know, you just got to know you're not going to get them all the time, you know, but you got to play. You got to avoid bad plays. I know last week, the first 3 drives, we had a lot of negative yardage plays, put ourselves in second and third, and we're real long. There aren't many good calls when you get in those situations. So I think a key for us is to play well on first down, keep us in second and third manageable, keep moving the chains, and then hope some explosives do come, whether it comes from the run or the pass. And we weren't able to do that, as you mentioned a week ago. We need to be able to do some of that this week. How much are you looking forward to seeing your players respond in a game-like setting after the loss against Clemens last week? Well, you know, we didn't look forward to being in the situation, but, you know, we talk about it all the time. You play our schedule in our district against the folks that we all have to go against. It can't always go smooth. Whether you win a game, lose a game, whatever, you're going to have your rocky moments. Then what? You know, how is it that you respond to that? You can't just go through the season crossing your fingers hoping nothing will ever go wrong. It very likely will in our league for all of us. And you know, where do you go from there? And it'll be interesting this Friday night. Well, Coach, good luck against the Cougars. All right, thank you, Brant. Again, Smithson Valley will take on Canyon at Cougar Stadium, a game we'll have for you right here on the Rangers Network. Kickoff is at 7:30, and our coverage starts at 7:15. For head coach Larry Hill, I'm Brant Freeman. This has been Inside Rangers Football. Thanks as always for watching, and we'll see you again next week.